Hey guys, my name is Kalpana Bhavsar. I'm broker of record at Bhavsar Realty. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I'm going to be covering a lot of topics on real estate in my videos, and you will be gaining a lot of knowledge when you watch these videos. So today I am going to cover a very important topic, which is buying a pre-construction condo. People have a lot of questions because it is a kind of a confusing process. So I am going to break down them into basically four topics. The first one is purchasing a pre-construction condo. The second one is occupancy closing. The third one is final closing, and the fourth one is applying for the HST rebate if you buy the condo for investment. So let's get on to it. So the first topic that I'm going to talk about is the purchase. So basically, when you go to buy a pre-construction condo, you're obviously going to go to the developer's office. You're going to look at the layout, floor plan. We're going to cover it on a different day, where we're going to talk about what to look when you're going to buy a pre-construction condo. Today we're going to go through the process. So once you decide that you are going to go ahead with the pre-construction condo, you're going to get a purchase and sale agreement signed with the developer. The developer is going to give you 10 days cooling off period, and these are 10 days, not 10 business days. So 10 calendar days. So the minute you pick up that purchase and sale agreement, the 10 days start. So during this 10 days, you're going to go to the lawyer and you're going to get your purchase and sale agreement reviewed. A lot of builders will also ask you to get the pre-approval done during this 10 days time. Now your lawyer needs to look at few of the most important things. I will say one, like, will stretch on this and say, walk away if you are not able to get away with these 4 points, which are very important. So one is that the builder should be allowing you to rent the unit during occupancy closing. Otherwise, it can sometimes take almost 6 months for the closing, and you will be responsible for the payment and you will not get any income in rent. So you want to make sure that the builder allows you to rent the unit while it's under occupancy. The second thing you want to see is that the development charges have been capped. There are known builders who have charged like 30 to 40,000 in development charges. So make sure you get it capped. Usually it gets capped between $5,000 to $15,000 depending on the size of the unit. The third one is you want to see that the builder is allowing assignment, because usually, with condos it takes 2 to 4 years, sometimes 5 years for closing. And during that time, if your situation changes and you don't want to go ahead with the closing, you want to make sure that the builder is allowing you to do assignment. Basically, assignment means that you can sell the unit to somebody else before the closing happens. So that's called the assignment clause. So the three important point you need to see is the assignment clause, the development charge capped, and occupancy renting allowed during occupancy. Keep in mind when you are buying a pre-construction condo that delays are very normal. So if you are buying something to move in yourself, you have to make sure that you understand that sometimes they get delayed for a year, sometimes they get delayed for 2 years. So this is what basically you get to know in your purchase and sale agreement. But these delays can happen. Builders are allowed to delay, I think, up till 3 years. So keep these 4 points. During this cooling off period, you can come back and ask the builder if one of this point is not in your favor. You renegotiate with the builder, and then at the end of the 10 days, if the builder agrees, then you are, as soon as the 10 days are over and you don't go back to the builder assumes that now the deal is firm. So now you have bought the pre-construction condo and you've given them the initial deposit. There will be like a period where the builder will give you like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days, 365 days, where you have to make the various payments, sometimes totaling to 20%, sometimes totaling to 15%, depending on the builder. So our topic on purchase is over. I had also mentioned to you that some builders will also ask you to get pre-mortgage approval. They will not firm the deal until they have a mortgage pre-approval. These days, I also notice a lot of builders are insisting only on the top 5 banks that they will accept the mortgage approval from. So keep that in mind as well. Some builders are not accepting broker letters. So that's the part of the purchase. Now let's move on to the occupancy. Say the construction is done, you get a letter from the builder saying Please come for PDI, which is a pre-delivery inspection. You go, you look at the condo. If there are things that are not done properly, you talk to the builder and they will get it fixed. Sometimes before the closing, sometimes after the closing. Now at this point, you are only having occupancy closing. It's called interim closing. So at this point, you do not need mortgage. If the builder has made arrangements with you to make an additional 5% payment, then that's the payment you have to do on that day. Your lawyer has to do. This closing is done by your lawyer. So basically at this closing, you're providing that additional 5%. Some builders will ask you to bring again the mortgage approval because your closing is happening probably 2 years, 3 years down the line. So they're going to ask you to bring a fresh pre-approval from the bank. The other thing you have to keep in mind is this is the time where the builder is going to start charging you monthly fees, because obviously the condo is not registered. You're not getting a mortgage at this time. You're only going to make a payment to the builder. So builder is going to give you a monthly payment. What does this monthly payment constitute of? It constitutes of the interest payment that you're paying to the builder for him giving you the property and not having a mortgage. So you have to pay to the builder. So he will be charging you interest. The second he will be charging you is property tax, and the third they will be charging you is maintenance fee. So your monthly payment will constitute of these three payments. So it will depend on, usually I think they charge you like a 5% rate on the interest. It depends on the prime rate. So this payment you will be making to the builder on a monthly basis. Keep in mind that between occupancy closing and final closing, there can be sometimes 2 months or sometimes a year. So the builder will usually take 5 to 6 post-dated checks from you, and then you get, if you are a principal owner, you straight away you get to move into the condo. Now, if you're an investor, you have to have an approval from the builder to make sure they allow you to rent the unit. So you have to get a pre-approval from the builder saying that, okay, I want to rent the unit. Some builders will allow you to put it on the MLS system. Some builders will not allow you to put it on MLS system. So accordingly, once you have the approval from the builder that you can rent your unit during occupancy, you can market it through social media or through exclusive listings, through your agent, and then get a tenant on your property and rent it out. Now that part is done. The second topic is done, which is occupancy closing. You made the payment. You're making monthly payment, and it's all good. Now comes the time for final closing. So the builder is going to get in touch with your lawyer and tell your lawyer, hey, the closing is in next 30 days. This is the time where you have to get your mortgage ready. So you have to go to your bank and tell them, like, my final closing day is ready. Here's my final closing day. Your lawyer is going to get in touch with the builder, and all the cost statement of adjustment is going to be given to you, wherein they're going to adjust all the hookup charges, carry-on warranty, legal fees. All those fees is going to accumulate. But also at this point, if you bought it for an investment, you're looking at paying an additional $24,000 towards HST. So be prepared on your final closing to budget for this additional $24,000 if you're buying it for investment. Now you already have a tenant in your unit, because remember, you got the keys on the occupancy. So now you have to pay that additional $24,000 on the closing day, and then submit documents to Revenue Canada showing that you have rented out that unit for 1 year, and some additional documents that which you can download from CRA website, and then you submit it to CRA with a void check, and they will return up to $24,000 back to you within 8 to 10 weeks. Now at final closing, your mortgage is done. Now the condo is registered. So now you stop making the payments to the developer, and now you're going to start making payments for your mortgage. So on final closing, you've got the total handover of the unit. Usually by this time, all the amenities are working in the unit, all the utilities are in your name, everything is done. The property tax also with the city is now under your name, and there is a condominium corporation that is taking care of the condo, because the builder has handed over the management to a condominium corporation. So this is what is called the final closing. So now your condo purchase is over, everything is done, and now if you bought it for your principal residence, you don't have to worry about nothing, because you did not pay HST. So the builder claimed the HST, so you don't have to do anything. If you were an investor, like I explained, time for you to submit the documents to CRA and get the ball rolling to get your money back. If you are also been an investor, then you also want to make sure that you have made a note of all the expenses that you have made during the time, like if you put blinds in the condominium, if you put you added some stuff in, like you did some upgrades, you did adding additional cost to the condo, you paid your realtor to find a tenant for you. So all these expenses you should write down in an Excel worksheet and keep it ready, because next year you have to use it for your taxation, because the income that you're going to get from your rental is going to be your income. So you need to have expenses that you can write off against it, like mortgage interest, maintenance fee, property tax, any real estate fees, any expenses that you made to maintain the unit or to upgrade the unit. These are all the expenses that you can write off. So this is basically, in a nutshell, the total process from starting to buy a condo till the closing of the condo. I've covered everything. In my next video, I'm going to cover about what are the areas that you should buy your condo in, and we will cover that. So keep subscribing to my videos and look out for all the main information. And if you want me to cover any special topic that you want to get some information, DM me and I will make a video on that topic. Thank you so much for taking the time.